we can extract the left characters or the right characters from a string. So let's make use of the left method, and the second parameter being 3 to extract the left 3 characters from the strings which are present in the A column. Now let's try to extract the right characters from a string. So for the example 1 to 3, suppose we want 1 2 3, that's the rightmost 3 characters, so that's how you extract that. Let's try to extract the surname from the string here. That's the full name. So first let's try to calculate the length of the full name here. So let's try to find the position of the space here in the full name. So let's specify the empty string, and after comma let's specify the cell. So you get the position of the space here. If we just click at the bottom right corner of the cell, so we get the corresponding lengths. In order to extract the length of the surname from the full length, let's specify subtract the position of the space. So let's so that's the length of the surname, and if we specify those characters in the right method, so that's how you can extract the surname from the full name. Let's use the concatenation method to concatenate the data in the two cells here. So in the concatenate method, let's specify the two parameters. It's the first cell A2, and then the empty string and B2 cell. If we just copy down the formula, we get the corresponding values. We can find the weekday of the week using the weekday method. So these are the three types which we can specify as the second parameter in the weekday method. So if we just specify the parameter 1, we get the weekday 3. In the second cell, maybe let's try to change the second parameter. Let's specify it to be 2 and 3, and it will take the corresponding days. So every type has a specific marked day, so we get 3 2 1. By default the second parameter is 1, so yeah, you can specify it according to your own needs. We can find the difference between the dates using the dated if method. Also it takes the parameter of y, m and d depending on whether we want to find the difference for the year, month or days. So as of now we just want to figure out the difference in the days, so I have put the d as the parameter, and if we just click down here, the formula is copied and we get the corresponding values between the now date and the start date. We can find the difference in months. So just in the third parameter we are going to specify m. So let's select the date and then the now date, current date, and let's specify the third parameter as m. So if we just click through, we can copy down the formula. Let's just change the months in the start date so we get a clearer picture. As you can see, the difference in months is increasing. We can use the dated if method to find the difference in the year. So let's just use the D2 column, D2 cell, and then the difference between the D2 and the now date, and let's specify the third parameter as y, as we are trying to find the difference in the number of years. So as you can see, we get the corresponding result. We can make use of the year, month and day method to extract corresponding year, month and day from the respective date cell. So as from the D2 we have just extracted the year. For the month, let's specify month method, and in the brackets let's specify the date cell, which is D2, and if we just click down, we can extract the corresponding month. So for the day as well, we can use the day method, and if we just take the date in it, so that's how you can extract the date as well. So we are going to look at the concept of absolute reference here. Let's try to multiply the value in the cell E2 with the value in the cell C15, which is 60. So we got 600. But now if we just click on the bottom right of this F2 cell, you can see the values are 0 here. Why so? Because we haven't used the absolute reference for C15. We can do so using the F4 shortcut on the keyboard, or you can specify it manually, and that's how we can get the corresponding. Okay, let's try to figure out which are the weekend days here from the dates. Let's try to find the weekday first. So using the weekday method, with the date from the D2 cell and type as 2, we get the corresponding weekdays. Now we are going to make use of the if and or statement or method here to figure out which are the weekends. So let's specify E2 as 6 and E2 as 7 in the OR statement, which is inside the if statement. And if it's true, then it should return true. If it's false, then it should return false. So let's just copy down the formula below, and that's how we can get the corresponding weekend. Okay, let's check how we can make use of the nested if statement here. So if the net profit is less than 0, we want to display the string bad. If it's less than 1000, we want to display it as acceptable, otherwise it should be good. So if the value, say in A7, is less than 0, then in the true statement we are specifying the string as bad. Then in the false statement, we are again putting the if condition, so which will check if it's less than 1000, then it displays acceptable, and in the false section it should displays it as good. So that's how we can get the corresponding result. We can check the weekday using the OR method and weekday method here. So in the OR brackets, we can specify the weekday. So let's check for the A2 cell. If it's 1 or 7, then it's going to be weekend, because weekday takes default parameter as type 1. So 1 is for Sunday and 7 is for Saturday. So if we just click down, so we get respective values, Boolean values here. So the true is for when it's actually a weekend day, and false when it's not a weekend day here. So we can use the COUNTIF to get the total number of values of good, acceptable and bad here. So I'm just taking the range from B2 to B14. Let's specify the absolute reference here. So you can do that by using the F4 key on the keyboard, or you can specify that explicitly. So the good, which is in E18, we don't have to specify absolute reference for that, and if we just click through, we'll get the respective counts for the acceptable and bad string as well in the range of B2 to B14. As you have specified absolute reference, it's going to look for B2 to B14 only. So let's make use of the SUMIF method to calculate the profit corresponding to name A. So let's first specify the range to look for A. It's from A2 to A14, and we are going to specify the absolute reference here. Then let's specify the name A, that's the criteria from the E16 cell, and let's specify the range from where we have to look the profit for A. So that's from B2 to B14. We are going to specify absolute reference. Similarly, we can calculate the average if. It's again going to take 3 parameters. So let's first try to look at the name from A2 to A14. We are going to use the absolute reference here, so that cells don't keep on moving as we click down the formula for B and C. And let's look for the profit from B2 to B14. So if we just click through, we get the respective average F for B and name C as well. So let's say now we want to calculate the profit before a specific date. Here, say before August. So we are going to use the SUMIF. Let's take the range of cells where we have the dates. That's from D2 to D14. and let's specify the criteria that it's less than say 2021 of August, starting from the day 1. And another parameter is your profit, which is from B2 to B14. So that's what we want to calculate the profit for. Just for the after August, let's put the greater than equal to sign. So it's going to calculate the profit which occurred after the month of August. Similarly, we can use the average if. After specifying the range, we can put the criteria for the date when it's less than or equal to before the month of August. And we want to calculate the profit for B2 to B14. So we are going to specify the absolute reference here. And if we just copy down the formula and change the criteria, which is greater than equal to here, so after August, so that's how you can calculate it. Okay, let's make use of the VLOOKUP to populate the subject for the respective code. So we have that code and respective subject here in the F and G column. So VLOOKUP takes first the key value and then the range in which it's going to look for. Then the column in which we want to look that respective value, and you can specify true and false depending on whether you want to find the exact match or not. So here we have got some null values as well, because we haven't specified absolute reference for the F and G column here. So maybe let's correct our VLOOKUP formula. So if we just click on the formula for G and F16, let's specify the absolute reference. Again, we can do that using the F4 key on the keyboard, or you can specify that manually. So if we just copy down the formula, we get the respective subject for the corresponding codes here. Okay, so let's make use of HLOOKUP. So it stands for horizontal lookup. So it's similar to VLOOKUP, which is vertical lookup. So the first parameter it takes is B2, which that's the key cell, and then let's try to look the corresponding value for it in the range C14 to H15 here. So after selecting and providing absolute reference for that, then let's provide the relative column, which is 2, and the value true for the approximate match. So if I press enter, so for the 4.57, the approximate match is 4, and the corresponding value for that is E. So if we just click down and copy down the formula, we get the corresponding grades for the respective GPAs. So that's how you can use the HLOOKUP. You can make use of the SUMOFPRODUCT method to get the respective dot value for the values present in the columns. So let's take the values from the column 1 and column 2, and you can get the SUMOFPRODUCT values. So we can make use of the round function here to get the rounded value. So we have the amount, which is in decimals, and if we want the decimal value reduced to 1 digit, then that's how you can do it. For 0 digits decimal value, we can use the round function with the second parameter as being 0. So that's how you get the amount, rounded amount. To get the square root in Excel, we can use the SQRT function. So in the SQRT method, let's put the cell here. So let's take it A2, and if you just press enter, you get the resultant. Let's just click on the top right bottom, and we get the following results for the corresponding cells. We can make use of the round method as well to get the rounded value from the B2 cell. So yeah, if we just click down here, we get the resultant set. We can use the minimum and maximum functions here to get the minimum and maximum value from a range of cells. So let's use the min function, and let's select the range from B2 to B9. It's 8 actually. So that's how you get the corresponding value. For the max, we let's take again the range from B2 to B9 or B8, and we get the maximum value in the subset. Apart from min and max values, we can get the median, average, and sum as well. So let's take a look at the median value in the range of B2 to B8, and 4664 is our median value. Let's try to get the average. So we use the average method for that, and again let's select the range, and we get the average value of that range. So it's 4200 in our case. To get the sum of values from B2 to B8, we can make use of the sum method here. So that's 29,406 in this case. So we can make use of the rank method to get the statistical rank of a number in a list of numbers. So here the numbers are 1 to 6. So if we use the rank of A2 cell in the range of A2 to A7, so we get the following values. Here let's just take the rank of values from A2 to A7 in the descending order. We can specify the parameter 0, that's the third parameter for the descending, and we get the following values here.